Let there be peace and love in the world. Welcome to Satsang. To take the world for real, this is the illusion. There is nothing wrong with the appearance of the world. It's to take it for two, to take it for real. So, what happens? What happens to the one who takes the world for real? He goes on searching endlessly in so many directions that the world offers, till a measure, something makes him think, but is it that soul? Is it a birth to, for what? And slowly that demand, inner demand, gets precised, more clear, with inquiry, to come to the conclusion, it's true, I am searching to be freed from the illusion that the world is real, so that I can obviously abide in what's real, in myself, which never left me, but I don't see it because I am hypnotized by the world, the reality of the world. So that's what satsang offers, is to make you know that there is no exit in the mind, which is the world. There is no hope there to answer and fulfill that search for freedom, to be oneself. And endlessly it will be pointed out that actually you are not the I you think you are. I see, I experience, I know, I don't know, I'm searching. You are not the I that you think you are. It's just an expression in the bubble of the world, which appears, which disappears. I'm born, I have a span of life, I'm dying, I, as a body, as a mind, as a form. Actually, I am the endless, unmanifested, formless reality that is even not being able to be described even by those words. They just point out that the fulfillment of the search will not be in form and names and experiences. Any clarity, more clarity you need, any question, any doubt, any conviction, this is the good place to expose it so that you are freed from them. Because one thing you keep, it's so uncompromising, you see, to shine as yourself, that it doesn't allow any single attachment taken for real, because then I as the attachment, and then you base yourself on that. There is nothing beside first I appear. I am, I consciousness, whatever word you may say. And again, there is nothing wrong with I, but there is something wrong when it is attached to something, whatever. You see, a feeling, a knowledge, a non-knowledge which makes you search, whatever, a sense. Yeah, that I is not alone. It's I am the body-mind, and all the multiplicity from that duality blossoms or crashes. Voila. I would be happy to hear you. And if I don't hear you, I'm innocent enough to trust it's because nothing comes. Which is a good direction, because it means the mind lost some of its power. And so far in the history of the wise, there was never a crowd silent because they were all wise. And I find that we are a bit a crowd, and the history never changes about that.
I'm not wise yet. So.
Yeah, it's okay. I will not label. It's okay. Yeah.
First, I have two things. I wanted to say that I thought about what you said, that I pick up old ideas that you already answered, and I just ask them again, or I just keep. And I really see that I don't want to do that anymore, so I want to put them at your feet. Wonderful. And I want to focus only on self-inquiry and not any other ideas. So just help me, please, if I do it, just slap me behind the head or something, so I
will slap you where you don't expect. Okay, wonderful deal.
Yeah, because I see its point.
Very good.
And the other thing I noticed when I try to do self-inquiry, I would like to know what is this attention, the attention that is going to an idea and then going to the subject, and then this movement. What is it, this movement of attention, of going back and forth?
It's the mind which plays, because you see this thought of inquiry, it's still a thought. The particularity, it's a subjective thought, but it's still the mind. So as it has been used so much to have something, an idea, in this case, most probably, or whatever, something in the other direction, the objective direction, it still plays on you. But don't worry, know what it does, or it goes this way, who feels so, who knows it, and go back to from where this I arose. And always, even if it is a split second of not being into any movement, know that is the perfect direction. Yes. Yeah.
I always keep quiet, not because my mind is quiet, because
you could speak a little louder, please.
because I feel afraid to speak, afraid to be stupid, or afraid to be wise, and it's like there are no reasons not to come home. There are 1,000 reasons not to come home, and I know there are no words that are necessary to come home. Still, I think I need a word.
Of course you need words. Who told you that? Since you are in your mind, the mind works with words and directions of words. Of course you need words. So don't keep quiet. So very good, you ask something. Yes? You see, in truth, you are reality. You are that which is unspeakable. Right. But then you must place yourself somewhere else to have those considerations. Because that is the talk of the mind. So don't keep a quiet mind. It's better to stir up what is there, and then it will be quietened by itself. And forget the label of wise and stupid and ignorant. It was just for the sake of my expression. No labels. No labels, really. It doesn't help. It's because of labels that we are in trouble. So whenever you have something more to tell, please tell freely. It's your birthright to be freed from this illusion that the mind is real.
So what is keeping me?
The one you think you are. The one you think you are, which is an embodiment of a past. So this has to be just not considered, given up. You see, you are not what you can describe. You are not what you can describe.
I know. I had the experience because last years I've been on long walks alone, and there I kind of discovered myself. I didn't know it was this. But afterwards I met you and Muji on YouTube, and you talk about the things I experienced.
Yeah.
So there's a knowing and a not knowing. Because it's...
And if it was real, why it's not here? So it was not a knowing. It was again a trick of your mind. It was a state. You cannot deny it, even if you cannot believe. I will try to explain you. You never have been freely yourself at any time. Otherwise, it doesn't go where it could go. It never started, it never ends. So states come and go. It was, of course, I don't deny, probably a state of your mind that you never reached before, which you attained through some intense or one-pointed search in an at least not objective direction. Still a state. And that's why, what does it mean, a state? There is a state which appears or which you experience, but for that you need an experiencer. And generally it is called I experience. So the I is still fully alive as the one he thinks he is, except during that experience he lost a lot of his labels. He lost its past probably for a while, but I still stay there. So I is troubling you now. You see? So don't be hypnotized by states. Don't reject them, they come unwillingly or spontaneously. But once they go, be happy. Oh, that also goes. Oh, this mind. Yeah, and keep quiet just a moment you contact that, and so. Then who are you at that moment? I'm very happy if you recognize it. It will help. Okay. Forget about this knowing, listening, and forget it. It's just a trick of the mind to not to say I, so that surely it's real. Forget about those expressions. There is no knowing. Knowing what? Again. Knowing nothing? No. Who you are is not even nothing. So you forget forget these all things that the mind suggests you. Mind is very clever, you see, because he knows that I is the devil, as he takes it. Finally, he will say he, or he will say us, or he will say that, instead of that goes to the loo. He goes to the loo. What? You are single? Us go to the loo. What is this? No, but it happens in the spiritual world. I'm not belonging to the spiritual world. I want that people are real, as they are, but they are just mystified by this mind, the reality of this mind. The best preparation is not to try to be a saint, to be more quiet and detached than others. Yes, the best way is to inquire, to see that we have passed a life jumping from one thought, one experience, one feeling without end. We just jump and identify it because we have not questioned the so-called reality of I. Otherwise, you see, I, devoid of this illusion, no problem to say I when you function. Yes.
If I deny everything, or I
If, so you don't do.
Okay, I deny. And so it has no. Everything has no sense. No. It can be goal. How can live so?
Don't worry about that. You don't stop to this suggestion of your mind. Do your self-inquiry, and I tell you, it's not to give a carrot, but when life doesn't take himself for real, there is no separation with what you are and life and all that. Don't worry for the life. Worry for, but who do I think I am? This is the madness, you see. To limit yourself and to suffer because of that.
Yes, I understand, but
do it. Understanding now will not do it, you just do it. And whatever stops it, just see, oh, it's a thought.
So religious.
I know. You come back with that. I thought you left it behind.
Well, I struggle.
Okay. So what?
And so I understand everything that you're saying. It's perfect sense. It's the truth. But then there's still like I don't know if it's a conditioning of the mind or if it is also another truth. But I know the church that I was brought up in was so, the way that they did it, Seventh-day Adventists, is too much. I don't know.
You don't know about the church?
No, about God.
Maybe God brings you here.
I know you don't like to talk about it.
No, I have no problem with God, because I put him with the world. The God mentioned, but you see, when I say the self, I don't mind to say it's God. But this word is so banalized, is so full of concepts that I don't pronounce it. But if you like, self, what's real, what you cannot name, is the real God. I have no problem with that. Still, it's a label, but it points out to the unmanifest. I have no problem with that. And that calls you here, to here. Please, don't put me with an image or an idea.
I don't. But so, what is your understanding when we die?
When?
When we die, what happens to the self? Where does it go?
But dear, dying is not my problem. I just look if I am born. And what does it mean to say I am born? Tell me now. Huh?
I understand that. I'm okay with that. I understand.
No, you are not okay. Otherwise you would be okay with the death of this body-mind. Because what is born? It's obviously a body-mind. are you born at all in truth, in reality?
Well, I have like when I sit at home, I have a fear that staying in my body and this it's very physical. Like I can't get my words out. Let me try again. When like if you stay in this state, right?
Of which state?
Of no state.
Okay.
You should be asking for more. Like I feel like.
What says that? From where this thought comes from?
Well, this is my question. I don't know. Obviously, it's the way I was brought up. You know, always have to go to God.
Beyond. But God is beyond. Forget about that idea. You see, who you really are, you see, has to be there prior to any birth and death and whatnot. Otherwise, it is something of the world.
But I am there. I'm okay. But what next?
But the next, it comes from where? From a mind. And from somebody who believes is real, so the thought looks real. When you say, I'm okay when I am there, it's an experience of yours. It is not a stateless state. It's not your natural state.
I know my natural state. I've been there.
Then shut up. If you know it.
Then I want to go to God, and then I get confused.
But how abiding in your natural state? Tell me now, who can be confused?
I'm not confused when I'm there, but then I come back.
But back where?
To the mind.
As if the natural state is a state. It's a stateless state, but it's for the to indicate something which one doesn't know. You see, if you say, I am there sometimes, but I go back. So there are two realities.
Currently, yes, I have.
No, that is the illusion. I started like this. You see, to take the world as real, that is the illusion. And the I makes the world real. The I, the projected, the expressed I. Because I am born, that is the first thing which makes the world and others. So okay.
Can I ask one more time? What do you think happens to your soul when you die?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Exactly nothing. It's an event as I take my tea, except that maybe the body reacts more because it doesn't breathe, but that's all. Yes. Otherwise, why should I speak of this? Why? If it is conditioned by death or by some extraordinary strong experience, then it's not worth to run after that. You will still search because you will always feel there is a beyond, there is an unsatisfaction, I lost it. Then what is it? That is called the world, what appears and disappears. So you may have experiences of a different kind when you say, when I am there, when I am formless, but you didn't question who is formless. Who knows that? It is still this bloody one who was formed for a while and is formless now for a while. So the self-inquiry has not been done. Which I understand, because you have to be very clear about this to finally be able to question I, the subject.
I understand so much, but I don't understand so much.
But you see, I understand now. But are you satisfied? No, you will go beyond again. So, what is self-inquiry?
I got scared.
What is self-inquiry?
They understand.
No, what is it? Tell me. Huh?
What is self-inquiry? To go inside, who am I, what are my associations, my attachments, my emotions?
That is self-inquiry, but it ends how? In the end, what you will ask. In the end.
Where am I going to go to hell?
So you go back to the body.
This is where it always ends.
You go back to the body. No, you know, it's all right. We laugh and but it doesn't matter. It's because
But it does matter. It's also-
one has to be clear of what's going on. That is the main thing. Once you are clear, 99% is 1. 0.9 even maybe. No, but really. If you are clear, this, I go back to my body. I go back to my mind. I go back to my heart with feelings. That's not who I am. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. You see, if you have this, it's a very strong tool.
I have this, but then,
Except for a few things.
except for the devil. So how do I now supersede this? How do I take the next step? I'm so close. I heard it. Like, I made the mistake to phone my father. I told him about you. He YouTubed you, and then I had a Skype with 8 of my family members. I made a big mistake. I have them in my mind.
Yes, you're a funny one, but you are full of mind. That's true. Oh gosh.
How do I?
You don't breathe. You don't breathe.
Still hear the devil. Okay. I don't really know how to.
Listen, don't go to how. Just for a second. Don't pick up how.
Ask you a question.
Yes, please. What's your name?
My name's Bridget.
Okay.
I don't know how to surrender. I don't even understand what it means to surrender.
Yeah.
To me, it's
Weakness.
yes. But also, I know it isn't. But the surrender that we talk about, I don't know how to reach that place. Sometimes I'll reach it for a moment and think, oh, I'm very good answer. But that's not the surrender I want. I want the real deal.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't seem to
To be
I don't seem
successful.
like I'm holy enough or sweet enough.
But that's not surrender. That is 0p humbleness of spirituality. Real surrender is when you dive with the question, who am I? And you disappear with the question. What disappears is the mind which surrenders because it doesn't go where you really are. Only do that. That's real surrender. And some approaches will be there. You will fail. One day you don't.
I'm quite happy to die. That's no problem. But
First of all, are you born to speak of death? Are you born to speak of death? This is the beginning of self-inquiry. Am I born? What yes? You say yes to what?
well, I'm here.
Yes, to the concept, I am the body and I am the mind. What you hear first when you approach a master is, you are not the body and you are not the mind. So you see, the birth we believe so much in, which is our unquestionable base, is based on the belief I am a body and a mind. Now, to ruin that concept, you have several options. listen, you are that which is undescribable, full stop forever. If you can't, you ask, who is this I which is bothered by everything? Who am I? And you dive where the question disappears. Or, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I negate, I'm not this, I'm not that, because it happens only to the body, or to the physical heart, or to the brain. Okay? You can choose. And that will lead you to the surrender of the mind.
But it
Yes.
hasn't worked for me. 1 minute I feel surrendered, and then the next minute I know I'm...
You have to know what you want. You have to know what you want. If you still like to be a tourist in spirituality, you bite a little bit of unmanifested, and you bite a little bit of joy and enjoying and so on. This is as you wish. But if you really want to solve this problem, I feel bound, I don't know my real self, and I want to know this is my priority in my desire. Then you will not be cool in telling, oh, I don't know, I cannot know. You do it. You just do it, and you cross the difficulty because you do it. You are thirsty. You cannot do otherwise. That you have to get, and you get that fire probably if you don't have you on your own just now, by coming to satsang alive, by reading to what is said, the same thing. You see? Yeah.
I do my best.
How can you be satisfied being my best? You cannot do your best because you are not successful. No, I don't do my best, but I have the strength of my guru. I pray, I self-inquire, and how can you say I do my best? Then you will stay like this.
And this is what's happening. Like
It is as you wish, but I just tell you, then don't complain.
Don't
Complain.
complain.
Yeah. If you do your best, don't complain. Bite a bit here and there. I can understand this. It is all the world does that. But if you complain that you cannot surrender and all, you have to know it's because you don't do your job. With love, with fire, with urgency. Yeah? So be inflamed by this company. Yeah? Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Ganga, I feel you answered the question, but I just want to
Okay.
put it out that this mind has this play of this dualistic reality that is believed in, or that this is spiritual and this is not spiritual, or being in the psychological realm in relationship is not spiritual and that's the mind. Or,
Yeah.
you know, these things, or that when I'm in satsang, then I feel anchored, and then I maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 1 day, 2 day, then maybe I get caught in the manifest, and then I come back, and so that there's this swinging happening that is still a reality that's believed in a bit, and I just want to lay it at your feet and to really ask for this anchoring in the self.
Beautiful.
To see that it's all there's no separation.
You are there now. Abide in that. And whatever pops up Just know it's the play of the self, which one called once upon a time the mind. Don't worry about that. Just fall in love first with your own self. It's a self-love. It's a funny way to express, it's an abidance. The self reveals itself. All the rest, expressions. And don't try to interfere in the expressions. That will take care of your life. And if something appears, if it is your circumstances, you just respond to that. There is no problem. The problem is to think, I don't abide in myself, which is a thought. You see, when we are still with the mind, of course that the duality will not be expressed anymore, or it is good or it is bad. It will be, or it's the world and now it's spiritual. It's still duality, you're right. Very good to mention that. It's because the mind is still fully powerful. It has to be ruined, attacking, or it's a bit funny to speak like that, or questioning the root of it.
Root of it is born. The root of the mind is born, and I'm not born.
Yeah, and the mind, what do you call the mind? What I really am is unborn, right? It's not born. So what is the mind?
Came after.
Yeah, but tell me an example. What is the mind?
Everything that is put inside.
Okay,
Inside.
so everything is put inside. Who says this? I see. This is part of the mind. I see. Everything is put in my head. It's very important because sometimes we speak out only half of the sentence, but you see it's due to I that you speak like this. I which is hooked at something. That's why it's very important to know and to be clear that all this duality is because I take myself for I am, and then I become, for this body, for this mind, for this and that. So that root has to be questioned. But who am I? If I am not the one I think, I experience, I feel, who am I? And this is a small loop, the unique subjective question, which has to disappear as any thought, and you just stay there. Yes. All the rest is the mind. what has been born at some point of the time, what has been achieved at some point of the time, is not it. It is the mind. Who are you is never born, so let's not even speak. It will never die.
Ganga. For me, surrender and self-inquiry look always like, in a way, like two different ways.
Mm.
What I understood
For you.
today,
Mm.
they go actually hand in hand, or I don't know. I wanted to ask, because I have the feeling, for me, I do a bit here, I do a bit there, I don't do...
You see, you are too.
Yeah. Do I have to choose, or can I choose, or what should
Anything will do. I don't know what you mean exactly by surrender. If you see, are you a devotional one? Maybe you have a part, because you are too devotional. So through the love, through the devotion, that you trust the finger who speaks of your own nature, you see, you develop a devotion. You may, what is devotion? It's to melt into the object of your devotion, but if it is the self, even in form, it's the self. The form disappears. So what, the self disappears, I said? That's strange. Well, I think I got confused in the melting. I disappear. I melted in the self. Okay. With self-inquiry, as I try to... it looks like I'm not clear, so try to be clear. But do the self-inquiry with me, and then we will see what does it mean. At least it will be on the way to, and maybe it will be it. Then you will not to ask a question anymore in your life. So, who is asking this question? No reply. I. You are not obliged to reply I, but you like so much to be I that you say I. Okay? You were not obliged. Okay, I. So, who am I? Okay. I explain and then do. There are three words which looks very similar. Who, am, I. Kind of same direction. Okay? Who am I? You lose one by one on the way of asking it. You stay with what? Without stopping anywhere. You stay with what? That direction. The mind cannot go there. Surrender, that's the surrender. And from there it's very clear that when I comes, it's I popping up, telling something, the mind. You see, and the thing is, if you really want freedom, it means you will not be interested anymore by what the world offers. The curiosity of the mind is ruined. So whatever comes from there, whatever pops up, whatever is expressed, at least for a while, you don't go there, because this is so precious. I did all these years. This is so precious. So you will not consider this little bit feeling, experience of going here, in and out, or here and there. It's the mind. It's the mind. I discard it totally. Up to this body dies.
have the desire to be free of all these mind identifications.
Yes.
And I also have other desires. And
okay, so ask me the same question without bringing the other desire for just a moment. Ask me this question,
yes.
and leave your other desires for the moment you ask me this question, please.
I have the desire to be free of my mind identifications.
Then you are at a good place. One has to leave everything behind, you see, to make it work. Even this body-mind is the past. It's time. Actually, we very much confuse the present as if it was not the time. The present of time. Otherwise, we can say that what cannot be confined in the time, what cannot be described, is just present, but not in the present of the time. The present of the time is crowded by the past. By memory. By someone born having that personal life. So that's why one can describe it, because it is phenomenal, it is temporary. You can describe what is limited. So go and check in yourself what you cannot describe. And when you come with an answer, it's a description, it's not it. You see, whatever you can deny, it is called the mind. So what you are, it's impossible, you try to deny it. Try. And if you can, it means it's not that. It's easy after all.
this is one thing what is a problem to deny. For example, my children.
No, just start first with you, with your own body.
Pardon?
Start with your own body.
Yes.
Don't go so far.
It's cool. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I can deny. Yes, my body and.
But you see, the kids, your kids, they belong to this body. You are the father of your kids in this world. No problem. Don't change that. Don't change that. It will always appear so. It appears so. You are not in reality. We speak of what's real, you know. That will not change. Don't worry for that. You are even attached to them. Doesn't matter. This body, this person loves his kids. Then what? Who are you? In reality, I don't ask you who are you as a father. There is no father if there is not this body. There is no father if there are no kids. Let it be like that. It appears so. This is your world. It will not change. I don't ask you an Holocaust here. I don't ask you to make an Holocaust. Yeah.
Holocaust.
Holocaust.
Yeah,
It's because you see that sentence is not understood. When you see the Buddha, kill the Buddha. When you see the Buddha, kill the Buddha. You think you have to kill all the forms. Just work with this one. And let this one respond and be beautiful in this form with other forms. Just know who you are really. Who am I? What is this reality of things? Is there anything like reality? All this, you see. Don't touch this. This is already the expression of the self. You are already put in it with a certain word. This is already done. Don't touch who is there to change anything there. Whatever changes is not our personal will. Don't think so. No, ask. What's real? Who am I? I hear I'm not the one I think I am. In reality, no, not as a father. You see, just I. What is this I? And if you don't attach anything to it, keep quiet there. Hmm? That's it. Mm. Any last minute? No?